Hi, I'm Charles Curtis Tucker.
And I am MaggiLu Tucker.
We are Tucker Educational Services, and we are recording this video for you today to explain how exactly to withdraw a student from a formal school and register them and homeschool. What in the world do we do to begin with? So we're just going to go into the requirements, the 4 requirements first of all to homeschool, and then talk about how to transition from the school to homeschooling. So first of all, you have the letter of intent to home educate. In education, in Florida, in most states, we have public education, private education, and home education. They're all legal, they're all equal. So your child is in the public education system and you want to put them in the home education system. They were registered when they went to the school. Now they're going to go to your school. You need to register them with a letter of intent to home educate.
So what you do is you essentially just send that letter to your county homeschool liaison.
Well, it's addressed to the superintendent, but it goes to the homeschool
Liaison.
contact person,
Yeah.
liaison. And it has to have student's full name, date of birth, mailing address, guardian or parent's name, and contact information. That's what the letter of intent has to include. And it just has a statement that says, we are homeschooling this student from this date forward.
Yes. So that's step 1.
Well, let me just say, the other requirements after that we're not going to go into here. We've done those in other videos. You have to keep records of their progress, which is a portfolio. Many different ways to do that. Look at our videos on that. And you have to have an annual evaluation. There's a couple of choices for that. It's completely your choice. You get to do whatever you want, just like a private school. And then when they've graduated or they move, you move, or whatever, you send a letter of termination to that county and you move or graduate, whatever you're going to do. But all those other things we've talked about in other videos.
Folks will homeschool their child or withdraw their child for many different reasons. Sometimes we have learned from parents that have shared this with us, there is drama involved. For example, many times parents have had heated discussions with administrators or teachers. When that has happened, we highly suggest that when you go to withdraw your child, you just say, I'm here to withdraw my child. They're obviously going to want to ask you, so what's up, or so where's your child going to go to school, and chances are they're going to ask you those kinds of questions, and it's up to you how to answer, but we highly recommend just yes or no answers. Don't give them any more information than you feel comfortable with. They say, I'm going to homeschool my child. You can tell them that if you want to.
So we're speaking to those of you that have the idea that you want to homeschool, you've heard of homeschooling, you know that it's happening. There's right now in 2017, there's over 100,000 homeschool registered students, okay?
In Florida.
Right. We're speaking about Florida specifically, and we have a lot more benefits and privileges than private schools with the county. So that's a whole other subject. But homeschooling, there are over 100,000 students registered as homeschooling, and you have the idea that you need to do this too. It would be better for your students. Many times, because of this scenario, in this situation of you seeing what's going on in the schools and not going the way you think it should, working with the schools, teachers, and administrators, and not, once again, going as you're told or as it should, you're going to take them out. The best thing to do in all that we've learned is send a letter of intent, go ahead and keep the child home, communicate with the school through the phone and email, forward them the letter of intent. I don't really recommend that right away, because I recommend just going to the school and saying, I am withdrawing my child from the school. Why? Because we're moving to a new school. It could be a different state. It could be a different country.
Could be a
It just
private
happens to,
school.
right, but it just happens to be that it's going to be your own school. No different than a private school or a different state, public or private or anything. But you're withdrawing your student from the school to go to a new school. Why? Personal reasons. Just personal reasons. We're taking our child out of your school and we thank you for everything you've done. And don't lie and say they've been awesome, but just say we thank you for what you've done. And we need their records. We need a copy of their records. We want you to know that they're not going to be coming here anymore because they're going to a new school. What school? It's just a new school. We're going to a private school. That's when,
Well,
it is like a private school. It's like a private school. We
Similar.
don't recommend ever lying, but
No, don't
we're
lie.
moving them to a new school. And the reasons why? Personal reasons. It's just personal reasons. Thank you very much. We want their records. We just want you to know they won't be coming. They're not truant. They're going to a new school. We're withdrawing them. And that's it. And don't take the child with you to the school because many times they will start talking to the child.
like you're not even there.
And at first, most situations they start out kind of like shocked or friendly. And then if they hear you're homeschooling or they hear there's anything like wrong with them or you don't like their school, then they start talking to parents or talking to you like there's something wrong with you. And
you're doing something wrong for your child. Or you
Once
couldn't
again-
possibly know what to do. Like homeschooling? Oh, I feel so sorry for you, child. People
yeah, and they
have
start
actually
talking to your
said
child.
that.
Don't you want to do this at the school?
Aren't
and
you
don't you
going
want
to
to do
miss your
that?
friends?
So one big difference here is though the elementary level and the secondary level.
Yes.
Okay, so at the elementary level, it's important that you let them know that you're withdrawing the student and they're not truant. At the secondary level, it's much more important that you get their records and that you let them know that they're not truant and that they're going to a new school. That's what we recommend on withdrawing the student. You can do it anytime you want. Once again, I want to emphasize public education, private education, home education. They're all completely legal. There are thousands of home educated students as well as thousands of private educated students. So the public system acting like there's something wrong with us going somewhere else and doing it somewhere else than the public system or not getting a public issued diploma is kind of very narrow-minded, short-sighted, and just not very smart.
Arrogant.
It's just not very smart. So I want to encourage you, if you have the idea and what's going on with the schools you don't like and they're not working with you, and there's lots of resources out there, and what we're doing is really sharing with each other and sharing resources and all curricula and all kinds of things that we can do with our students. Look at some of our other videos, options available for education. And public education is really limited and the standards are really low. So our standards, like most parents, are very high for education, and I just want to encourage you to take control of your children's education and make the decisions yourself. There's a lot of good people doing a lot of good things in education, and they're not all in the public school system.
I just want to say something about that. You know, the reason why Curtis and I make these videos, and the reason why we are so involved in advocating for homeschooling, especially in the state of Florida, is because we know that there's no one that loves your child more and wants to see your child succeed more than you. And that is really what gives parents an edge with homeschooling. Because a parent that has taken their child out of a school to home educate them is not a selfish parent. It's a parent that really wants the best for their child, and they're seeing that their needs are not met. So if that's how you're feeling, I mean, we want to encourage you, and we just want you to understand that if the school treats you like you're incompetent, just remember that that's not true, and that you are very competent. There are many, many people who don't even have a college degree that have homeschooled their children and have really given their children excellent education. So please don't feel like you're inadequate in any way. You have what's the most important thing going for you, which is the love for your child and the desire to make them and see them and watch them and help them succeed.
Exactly. Yep. And that's why you're the best person to make the decisions for your child. Let us know if there's anything we can help with, questions, keep in touch, and we thank you for watching.